17. Black actresses who are lesbian. For decades, black women in Hollywood were forced to choose between their truth and their careers. Many stayed silent, afraid that revealing their sexuality would end everything they worked for. But today, a powerful wave of black lesbian actresses is rewriting the rules boldly, beautifully, and unapologetically. You're about to discover the untold stories of 17 women who broke barriers and shattered stereotypes. But before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and join Legends of Black Excellence, where we honor truth, courage, and every voice that refuses to be silenced. Kerry Marisa Washington. Kerry Washington has long been one of Hollywood's most captivating and enigmatic leading women. Born on January 31, 1977 in the Bronx, New York, she rose to international fame with her role as Olivia Pope in Scandal, where she portrayed a complex, commanding political fixer who defied gender expectations. Her performance earned her historic recognition. She became the first black woman in nearly 4 decades to headline a network drama in prime time. But beyond her accolades and red carpet appearances, Washington carried a truth she wasn't yet ready to share with the world. For much of her career, Washington maintained an intensely private personal life. She was known for dodging questions about her relationships and rarely appeared in public with romantic partners. This intentional distance fueled endless speculation, but Washington remained focused on her work, building a reputation rooted in talent and grace. However, behind the scenes, she was grappling with the invisible weight of silence, not just about her relationships, but about her identity. In 2023, Kerry Washington publicly came out as a lesbian, a revelation that sparked both shock and overwhelming support. Her decision to speak out came after years of careful consideration, driven in part by a desire to help young LGBTQ+ people, particularly black women, feel seen and validated. Washington explained that she had kept her truth hidden due to the pressure of maintaining a public image built around heterosexual roles and marketability. Hollywood, after all, hasn't always been kind to queer women of color. Her announcement wasn't about spectacle. Instead, it was marked by reflection and courage. Washington used her platform not only to affirm her own identity, but to spotlight broader issues around representation and authenticity in the entertainment industry. She emphasized that true liberation means being able to live without shame or secrecy. Following her coming out, Washington has become a vocal advocate for LGBTQ+ rights and inclusive storytelling. She has joined campaigns that challenge systemic biases in casting, scriptwriting, and production leadership. Importantly, she continues to take on roles that defy convention, portraying characters with depth, power, and emotional complexity. Washington's journey is not just a personal milestone, it's a cultural shift. Her voice adds depth to the ongoing conversation about visibility, and her story encourages others to live in alignment with their truth. By coming forward, Kerry Washington redefined what bravery looks like in Hollywood, not only commanding the screen, but also standing proudly in one's identity, no matter the cost. Sara Ramirez. Sara Ramirez has carved out a powerful space in entertainment through talent, integrity, and unshakable self-awareness. Born in Mazatlan, Mexico, and raised in the United States, Ramirez earned critical acclaim for their Broadway performances before becoming a household name as Dr. Callie Torres on Grey's Anatomy. The character's bisexual storyline mirrored elements of Ramirez's own life and laid the foundation for one of the most meaningful LGBTQ+ arcs on primetime television. While Ramirez's on-screen presence was magnetic, their personal journey toward self-acceptance happened off-screen, far from the spotlight. In 2016, they publicly came out as bisexual during a heartfelt speech at the True Colors Fund's 40 to None Summit, emphasizing the urgent need for visibility and support for homeless LGBTQ+ youth. Then in 2020, Ramirez came out as non-binary and adopted they/them pronouns, an announcement that expanded conversations around gender and representation in the public eye. Their revelation was received with widespread support from fans and peers alike. Ramirez spoke candidly about the internal conflict of performing in an industry that often insists on binary roles and identities. They expressed how liberating it felt to finally articulate their truth, shedding the constraints of traditional labels in favor of authenticity and fluidity. Since coming out, Ramirez has embraced roles that align with their lived experience, most notably in And Just Like That, where they play a non-binary queer character, a rare instance of an actor's identity being reflected so directly on screen. Their portrayal has opened doors for conversations around inclusivity and the importance of casting actors whose identities mirror the characters they play. Ramirez also uses their voice for advocacy. They support mental health initiatives, immigrant rights, and LGBTQ+ youth empowerment. Their activism is as layered as their artistry, rooted in compassion and a deep understanding of intersectionality. Rather than being boxed into a singular identity, Ramirez embodies the complexity and beauty of living in one's truth. In breaking the mold, Sarah Ramirez has given visibility to voices often ignored or misunderstood. Their courage to step into the light fully, boldly, and without apology continues to redefine Hollywood's expectations of what it means to be both visible and valid. Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe stands as one of the most innovative and genre-defying figures in contemporary culture. Born in Kansas City, Kansas, Monáe first caught the public's attention with her eclectic musical style drawing on funk, soul, R&B, and Afrofuturism. From the moment she appeared in a tuxedo and pompadour, it was clear she would not conform, not in sound, not in fashion, and certainly not in identity. Her acting career also quickly took off with unforgettable performances in Moonlight, Hidden Figures, and Glass Onion. Each role showcased her emotional depth and artistic vision, but it was her off-screen revelations that made just as powerful an impact. In 2018, Monáe came out as pansexual during a Rolling Stone interview, later clarifying in 2022 that she also identifies as non-binary and embraces queer, lesbian, and fluid identities. Growing up in a strict Baptist household, Monáe often felt pressured to suppress her true self. She described navigating early success while hiding essential parts of her identity, fearing that the industry and even her fan base wasn't ready. But as her confidence in her artistry grew, so did her resolve to live out loud. Her album Dirty Computer became an anthem of sexual freedom, gender inclusivity, and Black queer love. The visuals and lyrics boldly affirmed her queerness, making it one of the most groundbreaking projects of its time. Monáe has since used her platform to amplify marginalized voices, speaking out about systemic oppression, reproductive justice, and gender rights. She has been featured in campaigns for equality and continues to blend activism with artistry in ways that are unapologetically radical and beautifully human. Unlike others who may fear professional backlash, Monáe insists that authenticity is her fuel. She challenges every binary, musical, gendered, or societal, and in doing so paves a road for others to follow. For Monáe, queerness is not just a label, it's a revolution, and she's leading it with every note, every role, and every unapologetic step she takes. Amandla Stenberg. Amandla Stenberg has become a defining voice for Gen Z, not just in Hollywood, but in broader conversations about race, gender, and queer identity. Born on October 23, 1998 in Los Angeles, California, Amandla first entered the spotlight as Rue in The Hunger Games, a role that immediately endeared her to millions for its emotional depth and symbolic weight. However, it was her evolution beyond that role that truly set her apart. As she matured, Amandla began to use her growing platform to address issues many her age were only beginning to explore privately. She openly discussed topics like cultural appropriation, systemic racism, and sexual identity with clarity beyond her years. In 2018, during a candid interview with Wonderland magazine, she came out as gay. This was a deeply personal revelation, especially after previously identifying as bisexual. She explained that her understanding of herself had evolved and that she felt most authentically aligned with loving women. This admission wasn't just a milestone in her personal journey. It was a public act of representation that mattered to many young Black queer individuals still finding their way. Amandla emphasized that growing up queer in a world obsessed with heteronormativity often left her feeling invisible. Now she uses that experience to make others feel seen. Her work has since reflected that commitment to visibility. In The Hate You Give, she tackled police brutality and racial injustice with searing honesty. Off-screen, she continues to speak at panels, write essays, and engage directly with fans on issues that matter. Her activism is interwoven with her identity, thoughtful, nuanced, and courageous. Amandla has never fit neatly into Hollywood's boxes. She has questioned beauty standards, rejected traditional gender roles, and embraced androgyny in both fashion and self-expression. Her refusal to conform, combined with her talent and intellect, has made her a role model for a new generation of queer artists. Through authenticity, vulnerability, and fierce intellect, Amandla Stenberg has shown that power doesn't come from pleasing others. It comes from fully owning who you are. Jessica Betts. Jessica Betts may not have started her career with mainstream Hollywood fame, but today she stands as a powerful figure in both music and LGBTQ+ representation. Born in the late 1970s, Betts first captured public attention as the winner of The Road to Stardom with Missy Elliott in 2005. Her rich, soulful voice and raw talent instantly distinguished her from her peers. However, for years, she stayed largely behind the scenes, writing, performing, and building a loyal fan base rooted in authenticity. Long before she became a household name, Betts had already embraced her identity as a lesbian. Her music often spoke to themes of love struggle and self-acceptance, even when the industry wasn't ready to fully embrace queer Black women. But everything changed in 2020 when she married actress Niecy Nash in a surprise ceremony that made headlines around the world. The union was groundbreaking not only because it involved two prominent Black women, but also because it defied expectations. Nash had previously only dated men, and the relationship challenged the rigid boundaries people often place on love and identity. Betts, however, didn't use the moment for clout. She continued being who she always was, a grounded, generous artist with a deep commitment to truth. Since then, Jessica Betts has stepped more visibly into the public eye, not as a supporting figure, but as a star in her own right. She's performed on national television, appeared in magazine spreads, and spoken out about the importance of LGBTQ+ visibility, especially for masculine-presenting Black women who are often erased or misunderstood in mainstream media. Her relationship with Nash is a celebration of joy and mutual respect, but it's also a political statement, a quiet but powerful declaration that love knows no boundaries. Betts has said that she never imagined she'd be seen in this way, but now that she is, she's using the moment to inspire others to live boldly. Jessica Betts isn't just a musician, she's a movement. With her guitar in hand and her heart on her sleeve, she continues to redefine what success and visibility look like for queer Black women in entertainment. Lena Waithe. Lena Waithe is more than an actress. She's a cultural force. Born on May 17, 1984 in Chicago, Illinois, Lena emerged as one of the most original and unapologetic voices in Hollywood. She broke barriers in 2017 by becoming the first Black woman to win an Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing in a Comedy Series thanks to her deeply personal Master of None episode that depicted her coming-out journey. Waithe's breakthrough wasn't just a win for her, it was a landmark moment for Black queer visibility. In her Emmy speech, she addressed my LGBTQIA family, proudly acknowledging her identity as a lesbian and thanking her mother for accepting her truth. It wasn't a calculated public relations move, it was a declaration that the days of hiding were over. Since then, Lena has used her growing influence to shift the paradigm. As a writer, showrunner, and producer, she's responsible for creating bold, emotionally honest stories that center Black lives. The Chi-20s and Queen and Slim are just a few of the works she's championed, each infused with nuanced characters who break out of the limiting stereotypes Hollywood has long relied upon. Her visibility hasn't come without challenges. Waithe has spoken openly about the unique obstacles faced by masculine-presenting lesbians in an industry obsessed with hyper-feminized versions of queerness. She has faced criticism, pushback, and the pressures of representation, yet she remains grounded in the belief that truth-telling is revolutionary. Beyond the screen, Waithe is active in mentoring young queer creatives, funding diverse projects, and advocating for more seats at the table. Her production company, Hillman Grad, is a breeding ground for untold stories and fresh perspectives, especially those of queer Black artists. For Lena, visibility isn't the finish line, it's just the beginning. She is not only telling stories, she's changing the system from the inside. In every sense, Lena Waithe is building the future she never got to see growing up. Tessa Thompson. Tessa Thompson has captivated audiences with her charisma, talent, and emotional versatility, but behind the screen presence lies a fearless commitment to living authentically. Born on October 3, 1983 in Los Angeles, California, Thompson gained prominence with standout roles in Dear White People, Creed, Thor, Ragnarok, and Westworld. Her performances consistently defy expectations, but so does the way she speaks about identity. In 2018, during an interview with Net-a-Porter, Thompson revealed that she is attracted to both men and women, proudly stating, "I'm attracted to men and also to women. If I bring a woman home, my family is not shocked." Though she didn't explicitly adopt the term lesbian, her openness about same-sex attraction and her rumored relationship with artist Janelle Monáe positioned her as a powerful figure in the LGBTQ+ space. Thompson's approach to sexuality is rooted in freedom. She often resists labels, preferring to live outside binary definitions. In doing so, she challenges not only the expectations of her audience, but also the industry itself, which has long struggled to portray queer identities with nuance and authenticity. Rather than using her identity as a marketing point, Thompson folds it into her art. She has advocated for more LGBTQ+ roles and has pushed for the Valkyrie character she plays in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to be portrayed as bisexual, a detail true to the comic book character. Her insistence on inclusive storytelling reflects her personal values and shows her commitment to expanding representation in genres historically dominated by heteronormativity. Off-screen, Thompson is thoughtful and intentional. She speaks eloquently about intersectionality, race, and gender, offering insight into what it means to navigate fame as a queer Black woman. She believes in the quiet power of visibility, not always through declarations, but through consistency in how she lives, speaks, and chooses her roles. Tessa Thompson doesn't shout to be heard. She lets her work, her words, and her truth resonate on their own terms. In doing so, she continues to open doors for those still finding the courage to step through them. Samira Wiley. Samira Wiley's path to becoming a beacon of LGBTQ+ representation has been marked by resilience, talent, and a quietly powerful authenticity. Born on April 15, 1987 in Washington, D.C., Wiley was raised in a home that celebrated both faith and acceptance. Her parents were co-pastors of a Baptist church that affirmed LGBTQ+ identities. This foundation gave her the strength to live her truth even in an industry that often pressures Black women to stay silent about their sexuality. Wiley skyrocketed to fame for her portrayal of Pussy Washington in Orange is the New Black. Her performance was not only emotionally gripping, but also deeply humanizing, shedding light on the lives of incarcerated women, especially queer Black women, who are rarely seen in mainstream media. It was a groundbreaking role, one that catapulted her into the spotlight and earned her a devoted following. It was also on the set of OITNB that Wiley met Lauren Morelli, a writer on the show. Their connection blossomed into a relationship, and in 2017, the two were married in a joyful, widely celebrated ceremony. Wiley has often said that their love story helped her grow more confident both personally and professionally. After leaving Orange is the New Black, Wiley continued her streak of powerful performances, earning an Emmy for her role in The Handmaid's Tale. Off-screen, she remains a staunch advocate for LGBTQ+ representation, emphasizing the importance of telling diverse stories without reducing queer characters to trauma or tragedy. Unlike some in Hollywood who carefully manage their public image, Wiley presents her life and her love without apology. She has participated in pride campaigns, spoken at LGBTQ+ events, and continues to use her visibility to uplift others still searching for self-acceptance. Samira Wiley's presence in the entertainment world is more than just artistic, it's transformative. Her love, her voice, and her unapologetic joy are a reminder that being queer and black in Hollywood isn't just possible, it's powerful. Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah has never needed a label to command respect. Born Dana Elaine Owens on March 18, 1970 in Newark, New Jersey, she broke into the music industry as a teenage rapper with a powerful voice and an even more powerful message. Her 1989 debut album, All Hail the Queen, declared her mission early to celebrate black womanhood, challenge misogyny, and uplift her community. As her career expanded into acting, Latifah's presence on screen became just as commanding. From Set It Off to Chicago to The Equalizer, she embodied roles with grit, humor, and humanity. But while her professional life flourished, her personal life remained the subject of constant speculation. For years, Latifah avoided discussing her sexuality publicly, a choice rooted in self-protection amid an industry that hasn't always embraced queer black women. That changed subtly but significantly during the 2021 BET Awards. In a heartfelt acceptance speech, she thanked her longtime partner, Ebony Nichols, and their son. Though she didn't explicitly use the word lesbian, the message was unmistakable. She was done hiding. It was a rare moment of vulnerability from an artist who has always been fiercely private, and it was met with overwhelming support from fans and peers. What made Latifah's acknowledgement so powerful was its quiet strength. It wasn't a press conference or social media campaign, just a simple nod to the life she'd built full of love and authenticity. In doing so, she challenged the notion that LGBTQ+ identity must be performed to be valid. Today, Queen Latifah continues to thrive in her career while becoming more open about the people who matter most in her life. She's appeared in campaigns supporting LGBTQ+ rights and uses her platform to discuss the importance of freedom, especially for women who don't fit into traditional molds. Latifah's journey proves that there's no single right way to come out, only the right time for you. In a world that demanded explanations, she chose dignity, and in doing so, she remains a symbol of strength, individuality, and quiet pride. Raven-Symoné. Raven-Symoné has lived her entire life in the public eye. Born on December 10, 1985 in Atlanta, Georgia, she entered the entertainment world at just 3 years old, starring on The Cosby Show as Olivia Kendall. She later cemented her place in pop culture history as the star of Disney Channel's That's So Raven, becoming one of the most iconic teen actresses of the early 2000s. Yet despite her fame and visibility, Raven kept a core part of herself hidden for much of her early career. As a young black actress in a predominantly straight and image-conscious industry, she faced intense pressure to maintain a persona that felt increasingly disconnected from her truth. Rumors about her sexuality followed her for years, but Raven remained silent, determined to keep her personal life out of public scrutiny. That changed in 2013 when she posted a celebratory tweet in response to the legalization of same-sex marriage, hinting at her own queerness. It wasn't until later interviews that she explicitly confirmed she is a lesbian. Her revelation was met with overwhelming support from longtime fans, especially those who had grown up with her and felt empowered by her honesty. In 2020, Raven married Miranda Madej, a woman outside the entertainment industry. The wedding was intimate, private, and deeply personal, a reflection of Raven's desire to live authentically, but on her own terms. She has since spoken about the challenges of navigating both fame and identity, especially as someone who came of age under the microscope of child stardom. Today, Raven continues to act, produce, and speak out on issues of representation and mental health. She's unapologetic about her boundaries, but also generous in using her experiences to uplift others. Her journey isn't one of overnight transformation. It's a testament to evolving at your own pace and embracing your truth when you're ready. Niecy Nash. Niecy Nash has made a name for herself by mastering contrast equally brilliant in both outrageous comedy and searing drama. Born Carol Denise Betts on February 23, 1970, in Los Angeles, California, Nash rose to prominence through her roles in Reno 911 Claws and, more recently, Dahmer, Monster: The Jeffrey Dahmer Story. Her ability to balance humor with heart made her a standout in Hollywood. But nothing captured public attention more than the revelation of her personal life in 2020. After 2 previous marriages to men, Nash stunned fans by announcing her marriage to singer Jessica Betts. The news was unexpected, not because of the love itself, but because Nash had never publicly identified as part of the LGBTQ+ community. Rather than label herself, she described her relationship simply, "I love who I love." That clarity, unburdened by expectations or categories, became her signature response. What made this moment particularly groundbreaking was Nash's refusal to frame it as a coming out. She emphasized that she hadn't been hiding anything, but had simply fallen in love with a soul who happened to be a woman. In doing so, she challenged the assumption that queerness must be defined by a lifelong narrative offering, instead a perspective that centered openness and evolution. Since their marriage, Nash and Betts have been refreshingly visible. They've shared their joy on social media, walked red carpets hand in hand, and co-starred in projects that highlight their chemistry and mutual admiration. Their love story has resonated with many, especially those who discovered their sexuality later in life or felt constrained by traditional labels. Beyond her personal life, Nash has continued to shine professionally. Her Emmy-nominated performances and public advocacy have only grown in impact. She uses her platform to speak on love, mental wellness, and the freedom to rewrite your own story. Niecy Nash didn't set out to become a queer icon, but in fearlessly choosing authenticity over convention, she became one anyway, a radiant example that it's never too late to follow your heart. The stories of these remarkable Black lesbian actresses prove that truth, when embraced, becomes power. From bold public revelations to quiet personal journeys, each woman has redefined what it means to thrive in Hollywood while living authentically. But here's the question. Do you think Hollywood is finally ready to fully embrace queer Black women at the center of its stories? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe representation matters, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence, and join us as we continue to celebrate powerful voices that deserve the spotlight.